Good morning, everybody. Chris Prescott here with Master CDP Studios, coming at you live with another podcast. So today's podcast, we're gonna focus on a few different things here. I'm gonna go over some Destiny 2 news that just came out last week, and then I'm gonna give an update on the contest that I'm running for next month to celebrate the Destiny 2 release on September 6th, which will be released at midnight. Can't wait for that. And then I'll talk a little bit about. I'll talk some wrestling. I'm going to have a wrestling segment. Talk about the week in wrestling, I guess. A few tidbits from the week of wrestling. And I'm going to focus on a few wrestlers that I want to talk about that I feel are, probably a little bit underappreciated or underrated in the pro wrestling world. And that's going to be pretty much the show. I'm going to try to be more straightforward than the last one. The first one, felt like I was kind of going all over the place, rambling on, but, that was my little intro podcast just to let everyone know what I'm going to be doing with Master CDP Studios, and just wanted to give a little history on, how music and wrestling and video games all together kind of play a factor in starting Master CDP Studios in the first place. So, with that being said, let's get started, and we will start with the Destiny 2 news bit. So last week, some info was released from Edge Magazine. Well, not necessarily Edge Magazine, but someone on Reddit that had a copy of this, or that got the information from the Edge Magazine. Apparently, Edge visited Bungie Studios, and they left with some information here. And one of the big pieces of information that came from that little visit was that the Destiny 2 will overall have 80 missions, or will have more than, over 80 missions to play through in the PvE portion of it. The original Destiny, after all the DLC was released for Destiny 1, had around 40 missions or so. So that's a pretty big jump. That's double the size of the first one, basically. And really looking forward to that game. It's going to be very exciting. I can't wait to get my hands on some hand cannons on that game and start popping some domes in there. But yeah, really excited for Destiny 2. Can't wait. I can't wait to do the strikes. Spending countless of hours at night, after you call it a day's work or, your day off, you go out and you go on your little adventures throughout the day, and then you get home, it's late at night and nothing left to do but to play some Destiny and grind it out in the strikes. And that was one of my favorite things to do. I'd be up at, freaking 1 a.m, just chilling, playing some Destiny. Might have a tall can or so, or a little big gulp with me, and enjoyed some Destiny, some strikes. I just love the intent. I don't know. I love the stories and the strikes. They had some intense moments. A lot of great strikes in Destiny. My favorite strike in the first game was the Dark Blade. That was my favorite. I love that whole strike. It just seemed intense. Especially when you went into the room with the batteries. You have to activate the batteries so you can open the door. I don't know, just the music, everything, the surroundings, it just made it intense. I love just posting up behind a wall, sniping the wizards floating around over there by the or the witches, I should say, floating around over there by the batteries, trying to keep you from activating those so you can get into the next room. Then where another intense gunfight happens with the Taken, all the Taken in there, and just the soundtrack, the track that plays in that part of the strike, that's like one of my favorite songs in there. Just the way it starts, and then everything picks up, all the Taken just bombard you, and that music is playing, and it's intense. You and your friends are chilling back, popping off some Taken with some headshots with your snipes and your hand cannons, and that's just an overall great strike. I really enjoy that strike a lot. But I'm really looking forward to, Destiny 2. I played the one strike that came out with the beta. Me and my cousin did that, and I had a blast with that. I just thought the gameplay was excellent. Really felt like Destiny, but then it felt like a new game at the same time. Yeah, can't wait. Just can't wait. That game's gonna be awesome. I can't wait for the live stream next month either. So still haven't decided yet if it's gonna be a live stream. I gotta make sure that that's what it's gonna be. I'm gonna be announcing that soon here. But if anything, what might happen if it's not a live stream, I'm definitely recording a podcast for it because I got to announce the winner for the contest, and that's of course if I hit my 50 subscribers by then, by September 6th. So I need to have 50 subscribers by September 6th in order for me to run this contest. But yeah, it's going to be a good thing. But what I might do is I might just record my gameplay while I'm playing Destiny 2, from, first mission, whatever I do, whatever I decide to do, or whatever my friends and I decide to do, actually, because I will be playing with a few of my friends. I'll probably just record it if I don't do a live stream, but I will post that video up on YouTube. And then on that video, what you'll do is you'll leave a comment saying that you subscribed. And then you just got to leave your subscriptions public. That way I can see that you subscribed in order for you to be eligible for the contest. And like I said, I'll be recording the podcast right after that, right after we're done with the game. Or I might record it while we're playing the game. Not sure yet, but either way, that podcast will be released a week after. So probably that next Monday or Tuesday, I'll release it. And the first thing I'll open up with is announcing the winner of the contest. So as long as I get 50 subscriptions by September 6th, which I don't think it's going to be too hard to do. 2 weeks ago, I barely promoted this 2 weeks ago as far as putting content on my YouTube channel, and I'm already at like 28 subscribers, so that's pretty decent, I think. So once I have that down as far as the video, whether it's gonna be a live or a recorded, regardless, it's gonna be on my YouTube channel, and that's gonna be where you comment to let me know that you subscribed to my channel, and then you'll be eligible for the contest to win a $30 gift card, and that's either gonna be it's gonna be your choice. I'm gonna leave it up to you. If you're a PlayStation 4 owner, that's what you play most of your video games on, or all your video games on, I'll get you a PlayStation Store gift card. If you're an Xbox, which I prefer, I love Xbox. That's just kind of the system I've always. That's the system I've been playing mostly, over the last 5 years or so. Even though I have a PS4, and I'm actually going to be getting. I already pre-ordered my digital deluxe Destiny 2 for PlayStation 4. So yeah, leaving Xbox a little bit. I'll get the Xbox version later on. But then if you're a PC gamer and you're gonna, you're one of those guys, fuck consoles, PC all the way, then I'll get you a Steam account or a Steam gift card, $30 gift card. Or some type of gift card so you can get PC games or, whatever, maybe a GameStop gift card. So just stay tuned for that. Stick around for the contest, and I'll give you more information as the weeks go. We're getting pretty close to Destiny 2. It's already August 14th, and, we're a few weeks away from the release of Destiny 2, so I can't wait. I am excited for that. Now, time to talk some pro wrestling, of course. One of my bread and butters, I guess you could say. So what I wanted to do with the wrestling segment today is kind of give a little bit of a Raw recap. Raw and SmackDown. I didn't get to see SmackDown. I got to watch some of Raw last week. And, I'm gearing up for tonight's Raw. Me and my girl will hit up the gym, and then we'll get home and maybe crack open a couple of Steve Weisers there for ya, kids. Stone Cold, you pieces of tripe. But yeah, anyways, yeah. So looking forward to Raw. This is the go home show before NXT Takeover on Saturday, live from Brooklyn. NXT Takeover 3, I should say. This will be their third takeover from Brooklyn during the SummerSlam weekend. So that show should be awesome. But SummerSlam, that's the big show. That's going to have a lot of the good matches on there. The card as it stands right now, we have, first off, we have a Cruiserweight Championship match featuring Tozawa and Neville. Neville's awesome. He's, God, man, he's the only good thing right now. Unfortunately, I have to say the only good thing, and I have to say unfortunate because it should be a lot better than what it is. about the cruiserweight division. Neville has just been carrying that championship, and he is a complete badass now. I remember when he came as a babyface. He was all about the high aerial maneuvers, pleasing the fans, making everyone go crazy when he did his Red Arrow finisher. And then, he was out with an injury, and he came back to the cruiserweight division, and man, his heel run has been awesome. Like, he's a badass, and he doesn't do the Red Arrow no more. I love that. I love how he just took that away, because he's not going to do any crowd-pleasing moves anymore. He's there just to be a badass, to beat the shit out of people, and to carry that cruiserweight championship. He's, like I said, he's the only good thing right now going on about it. Tozawa is in that whole Titus O'Neil's worldwide brand thing. It's a little, little stable that Titus is starting with Apollo Creed and Apollo Crews, and Titus is good as far as mic work goes. He gets kind of annoying, but I'd rather him be in the role that he's in right now as like the mouthpiece for that little faction. Because as far as in-ring goes, he's not the best. He's very sloppy in there. Just stick to what you're doing right now with this Worldwide Club thing, Titus Worldwide, whatever it is. Stick with that. Tozawa and Apollo Crews, hopefully they both benefit from that. Because, Titus is good on the mic, and he knows how to promote, and he knows he's a good spokesperson. They use him a lot for like all those like the Father of the Year type stuff. He seems to do really well on that front for WWE. So even if he never ends up being a big time wrestler there, I'm sure he's always going to have a job because he's a good spokesman for them. And then the next match, there's going to be Finn. Well, I don't know exactly what order these matches are. I'm just going by the list, kid. Finn Balor is going to take on Bray Wyatt. That's going to be awesome. I really hope. I don't know who I actually want to win this match. I just hope it's. Well, I don't know why I said it's going to be awesome. Just because, for whatever reason, it's like they don't know what the fuck to do with Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt knows what to do with Bray Wyatt, and I think the guys that he works with knows what he wants to accomplish with the character Bray Wyatt and the matches. But I think the creative geniuses, quotes, put the little quotations around geniuses. I think they know how to handle the Bray Wyatt character, and they don't. Because, Bray is awesome on the microphone. He builds up the matches so good. And he talks so... he's a great talker. He's a great Mike Smith, if you want to call him that. One of the great masters of the mics. And, he builds up the matches. And then when the matches come, WWE always has to go with the stupid, hocus pocus, gimmicks in the match. And Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt is a good example of that. Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania versus Randy Orton for the title when they had the stupid little projector on the ring, the projector showing up on the canvas of the ring of the bugs. I was just like, come on. It was cool the one time, but then they did it again, and then I think they did it like 3 times, and then Bray Wyatt loses the match. It's like, really? Like, you did all that crap, and then Bray loses it? Like, what is Randy Orton doesn't need another title run, which, then the title run for Randy Orton was just to drop the belt to a Jinder Mahal, surprisingly, who was part of 3-man band. So, I just hope they don't screw up with the Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt, because that has potential to be a great match, great story. The Demon Balor is going to return. The Demon character is going to return for that at SummerSlam. So that's going to be a good spectacle visually. Bray Wyatt's entrance, and then Finn Balor's probably going to have some crazy ass entrance with his makeup. So that should be good. I really hope that they just don't screw up with it. And then it's like the thing with Bray that they always seem to do. It's like they build up Bray like to be this big monster that he's going to dominate everybody that he faces. And, usually he'll run his promos leading up to the match, and, he'll have some, a few squash matches or whatever, or, gain the upper hand and on his opponent, and always talks the big talk. And then a lot of the times they have him go in there and he loses. You think he's ready for a push, he's set for the big push here, and then he loses. But I will say, obviously, since going to SmackDown, has been better for him up until this recent move to Raw. Which he already has a victory over Seth Rollins. That's a good way to start your transfer it over the Raw. But SmackDown, I liked it because he won the title with SmackDown. He won the title, the World Heavyweight title. He was WWE champion, so he has that under his belt now. And I just hope Raw doesn't fuck him up. And I think what it's gonna come down to it with the Balor and Bray. I should say this is a SummerSlam prediction, I guess. So I should have predicted that I have Neville going over to Zawa. So in this one, I don't know. I'm just hoping it's not going to be the usual case of Bray Wyatt talking the big talk and then losing the match. But at the same time, you kind of have to wonder what they're going to do with Balor. Like, this is going to kind of show you right here, SummerSlam, Balor goes over if Vince, mainly has the confidence and trust in Balor to continue on to a big push. So is he going to go over or is Bray going to go over? I feel like Balor's probably going to go over. I would like to see Bray. I would like to see Bray go over. I don't know how they're going to do this one. Maybe it's going to be something where it's like not a clean, decisive finish. That way to protect both of them. But it is SummerSlam. It is the big, one of the big pay-per-views of the year. So it's almost like you might have to just put a cap on this one unless they're going to continue their feud after SummerSlam, which I'm not sure. So it's kind of a hard one to pick because I like both guys. I would like to see Bray get another good win. I mean, because he has had the last few months, he has had a good run or a good roll, been on a good roll because he beat Rollins, like I said, and then he had that feud with Orton, which he pretty much won that feud as well, and he has won his feuds with Roman Reigns. So it's like it sucks because like he loses a lot, but then it's like he doesn't lose. Like the big time matches, the big ones, he won't lose. So I mean that's cool. Unless he's going up against John Cena WrestleMania 14 when he should have went over, but whatever. So it's like it's like up and down with Bray. It's like he wins like the big feuds and then he loses a lot of little ones in a row. It's like, so it makes no sense what they do with him sometimes. But hopefully now, since he had won the title in the Elimination Chamber match earlier on in the year, hopefully now they kind of want to reverse, the shitty treatment that they've given him, and maybe they want to have nothing but smooth sailing and high roads for Bray Wyatt here. But I think I'm going to go with Balor winning that match. And then you have Randy versus Rusev. Randy Orton versus Rusev. Don't really know. I want Rusev to win, and I'm actually going to predict him winning because if I'm not mistaken, I thought I heard something that Randy was going to be leaving for a little bit again. So I see Rusev going over on this one. Of course, we'll see how SmackDown ends this week to really get a good idea of who's going to be going over. That's all I have to say about that, really. Nothing crazy there. I've always been a fan of Randy Orton and Rusev. Randy Orton's kind of been in a weird situation, dropping the belt to Jinder Mahal, someone that was losing every week on WWE TV and was part of 3MB before getting let go a few years back, and now coming back to the WWE, and now Jinder Mahal is all of a sudden champion, and he at the expense of Randy Orton. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with this one. I hope Rusev wins. I hope it's just a straight up clean victory too, because Rusev is a badass. He's awesome, and I'd like to see him be elevated in the card because he deserves to be. I think he deserves to be in a main event spot already. I mean, SmackDown has a lot of good guys that he can tangle with. There's a lot of great guys on SmackDown. You got Baron Corbin up there. I know he's still working on his in-ring, but I mean, he's getting better. I mean, I love Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin's awesome. But you got Rusev, Baron Corbin, AJ Styles, Shinsuke. You got Randy Orton. You have John Cena right now, but he might be going to Raw. But there's a lot of good guys. There's a lot of good guys on the roster of SmackDown, to where it doesn't have to be the same 2 to 4 guys fighting over that WWE Championship. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully they put on a good match, and hopefully the right person goes over on this one. I mean, why not? Why shouldn't Rusev go over Randy Orton? Jinder did. So we'll see. And Jinder's been doing great. I'm a fan of Jinder. I'll get more into that when we get to that match. And then you also have the SmackDown Women's title being defended at SummerSlam. Natalya versus Naomi. Really hoping for a Natalya win. Not that Naomi's bad or anything. I just not really feeling this whole glow thing. Feel the glow, all that crap. I don't like that. And Natalya is just a badass too. She's got that royal heart family lineage. So, the experience there is going to play a factor. I'm pretty sure they're actually going to have a pretty good match because both are athletic, both are good in the ring. Natalya obviously has the experience; she's going to have the edge on the skills in the ring. But Naomi is capable of having a good match, with the right person, and I think they'll have a great match together. So I'm really hoping for a Natalya win. I would like to see Natalya win that title and then hold on to that thing until WrestleMania. Let her be the badass that she is. She is the most experienced on that roster, in that division, and she deserves it. Like, she's a badass. So I say Natalya over Naomi at SummerSlam. And then you have the tag team champs, the Usos. Looks like we're going to have the rubber match here. The Usos versus New Day, the SmackDown tag team champs. That should be really good because, man, their match at Battleground was freaking awesome. They had a great match. Really enjoyed that match a lot. And, usually both teams have great matches with other teammates, or against other teams. So this should be no different. The Usos, their heel characters, I'm not really into the whole trap music crap that they come out to and some of the things that they say, but overall I'm loving the heel character change. I'm loving the Usos now. They're badass. Wasn't really, I love the whole Samoan, heritage and everything, and I actually liked the entrance when they were faces, the whole chant and coming out and doing the dance and everything. That was badass. I just wasn't digging the characters as far as the promos went. More catered to the kids, which most of WWE kind of is now, which, I still can't stand. I'm sorry. I know the PG thing is the better business move and you want to please all the stockholders or the shareholders and everything, but yeah, fuck all that. I'll take the Attitude Era any day. And then, so as far as that match goes, I want to say it goes back to the Usos, but I'm not sure really how I feel about it. I don't know, are they going to try to redo this whole New Day thing, or is this going to be where we finally see a heel turn from Big E? Are they going to lose the belts to the Usos and then Big E turn heel on the New Day? Because that's kind of what I've been hoping for a while, after they, broke the record for longest tag team champs in the modern day, at least. The New Day, I would love to see that, but at the same time, it's man, it's done so good for all three wrestlers involved in the New Day. It's I don't want to see it broken up if it means someone's gonna suffer. Even though the most I want, or the biggest thing I want to see, what I really want to see from this is a Big E heel turn and him just going on a path of destruction and dominating everybody. But at the same time, I like Kofi and Xavier as well, and they're doing so good. And I just worried what they would do with Kofi because they really haven't. He's a former multi-champion, in WWE, but I just, up until the New Day, it didn't seem like they were going to really do much with Kofi, and he's really good, and he's been there for a long time, so he deserves to be in a good spot. So, if I had a pick, of course, I would like the New Day just to stay together because it would benefit all three of them. But personally, I would like to see a Big E heel turn. So, I think the New Day might win this, and they'll probably drop it to someone else other than the Usos. But then again, I could see the Usos winning it, and then one of my favorite teams right now, Breezango, Tyler Breeze and Fandango, they've been fucking great in their roles on SmackDown. It's fucking awesome. They're selling shirts, their merchandise, they're moving merchandise, they're doing good. I would like to see them really focus on Breezango so that they can have a good run chasing the titles from the Usos. And then, get the people really invested. They're already pretty invested in them just because of the stupid little skits that they do. They freaking crack me up. But that could be a great potential to set up, eventually. You get more and more people behind Breezango. You have great matches with the Usos. Just get people really invested in the story, leading to, maybe the Usos, have Breezango maybe take the titles off them for a little bit, and then the Usos win it back. The Usos win a rubber match, and then you have it right there. You have a great heel turn waiting with Breezango maybe turning, Tyler Breeze turning on Fandango, a la The Rockers, Heartbreak Kid, and Marty Jannetty. So I think they have a potential of doing that with them because people are already invested in Breezango. People cheer for them. They love them. They buy the shirts. You know, they're getting into the characters. So build them up more. Take them to that next level so people become even more invested in them, and then have that go on. Have that heel turn, and I think you could have some magical stuff there with those guys. And then, of course, Nakamura is going to be challenging the modern-day Maharaja at SummerSlam for the WWE title. Can't believe I'm saying that. Jinder Mahal taking on Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam. That's SmackDown's main match. That is going to be... I think it's going to be a good match. I think Shinsuke is going to make that a great match. And Jinder's actually no slouch in the ring either. Shinsuke has the experience on him. And Shinsuke will more than likely walk away unless they're going to do some weird swerve where Jinder still keeps the title. I don't mind Jinder in his role. Like, I actually like it. Like, at first I was kind of like, I don't know. And he won the number one contender battle royal. And then I was like, wow, really? He's going to face Randy Orton for the title, huh? And then I'm thinking like, it's just going to be one of those filler matches so Randy can go over and, you know, go on to a bigger and better feud. And then, you know, lo and behold, Jinder Mahal freaking wins the title from Randy Orton. And he's actually won every match against Randy Orton, you know, for the title that they've had since then. So, you know, what are they going to do with Jinder? Are they going to keep going with it? It's like, you kind of, I don't know. Maybe they're just not going to have a clean finish. I want to say Shinsuke is going to win and go over and then hold on to it until WrestleMania, leading to a possible Shinsuke versus AJ Styles at Mania next year. So we'll see. But I kind of feel like they're going to go with a non-clean finish and maybe let Jinder hold on to it for a little longer. But then again, I don't know. I don't think you can do that to Shinsuke. He was kind of like, you know, it was kind of a rough start a little bit with Shinsuke, but I think now they probably want to go full steam with him and pull the trigger. So I think my final prediction is going to be Shinsuke going over Jinder Mahal on that one. And then you have the United States title. Shane O'Mac is going to officiate this match. AJ Styles, the phenomenal one. The United States champion versus Kevin Owens, the challenger. I want my title back. But I think that's going to be awesome. That match is going to be great. They've already had a few great matches against each other on SmackDown, on the SmackDown roster, and this one's going to be no different. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of drama involved with Shane being the ref. And who knows? It might even lead to a potential Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon match. So we'll see what happens on that one. Can't wait. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to that match. I think what's probably going to happen is Owens is going to go over, and then maybe AJ, or I don't know. Actually, I really don't know who's going to win this match. I want to say maybe I'm thinking Owens, but then again, I'm also thinking because of the whole drama that's been going on with Shane and Owens, as far as Owens, you know, demanding all these, demanding the rematch and being heated because the ref didn't see his shoulder, him kick out of the pin when he counted the 3 for AJ to beat Owens. So maybe it's gonna be another thing where AJ goes over and then Owens gets pissed and punches Shane or something, or starts beating him up in the ring. So you know what? I think I'm actually going with AJ going over and then it leading to some drama with Owens and Shane right after. Kind of like how last year when Shane came out to stop Brock from brutalizing Randy Orton in the middle of the ring. And Lesnar F5'd Shane in the middle of the ring. So we'll see. Yeah, so my prediction, AJ going over and then Owens and Shane starting to build their feud for their potential matchup in the future. And then you have John Cena. Boo! John Cena sucks! Even though he has some good matches, he still sucks. And John Cena is going to be taking on Baron Corbin, who is a personal favorite of mine and my wife's actually. We both are big Baron Corbin fans. So are my dogs, Master Chief and Cortana. They sport the little Baron Corbin wolf t-shirts. We got them some t-shirts. No, I'm just kidding. We didn't. But Baron Corbin versus John Cena. So I could kind of see John Cena going over on this match just because another thing that now I got to take into play with the Nakamura and Shinsuke match, or the Nakamura and Jinder Mahal for the WWE title, is that Baron Corbin is SmackDown's Money in the Bank briefcase holder. So I could almost actually see this going the route of John Cena winning and then Baron Corbin coming out to cash in Money in the Bank, his Money in the Bank briefcase contract. So maybe Jinder will go over on Nakamura. or it'll be some faulty finish, and then Baron comes out and totally just totally comes in there and beats Jinder and takes the title. Or maybe Baron Corbin might even insert himself in the start of the match and make it a triple threat. So who knows? I could see Cena going over just because he's lost, or because he lost against Nakamura on SmackDown, clean. Brutal, got dropped on his head. But at the same time, Cena hasn't done well at SummerSlam as far as victories go. But you know what? Since they are running that now on WWE.com, talking about how Cena has a pretty bad SummerSlam win-loss record, usually when they start teasing that stuff, that kind of tells me that John Cena might actually go over, so he can break that little, losing streak, or, add a win column, add a win to the column there, the win column, add a little W, to kind of help counter that horrible SummerSlam record. But yeah, I kind of see Cena going over, because then supposedly the word is that he's going to go to Raw. So that'd be a good way for him to have a send off, lose or win his last match on SmackDown and then go to Raw, and then also have Baron Corbin come out and cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase. So we'll see, but I think Cena's probably going to go over on that one. Unfortunately, I really want Baron to win that match, but that it's Cena. Cena wins. LOL. Anyways, the last match for that pay-per-view, that stacked pay-per-view, which now makes me realize that pay-per-view is actually pretty stacked. A lot of good matches on there, but the main event will feature the Universal Championship being defended. Your champion, Brock Lesnar, taking on Roman Reigns, boo, Samoa Joe, yeah, and Braun Strowman, boo, yeah. So that's going to be good. That's just going to be a war. The four involved, all of them are capable of having good matches, or brutal matches, I should say. They're capable of going all-out war in their matches. Braun Strowman and Roman have been having a fucking great feud. God damn it. Like, their matches have just been nothing but car wrecks. It's just like two bulldozers going at it, like destroying everything and each other. And Braun Strowman has been having a... God, man, they are actually handling Braun Strowman very well. I love it. I love the way they're handling Braun. Braun is just a beast. He's a beast. He comes out there and they are building him like the monster that he is, the monster among men. But who I see going over in this match, wow, I really don't know, actually. They could go with the surprise victory here and maybe Samoa. Or I'm also even thinking maybe Braun. But the fact that they're teasing this whole, like, oh, if Lesnar loses, just because of the whole John Jones talk, Lesnar's going to win. Lesnar leaving possibly to go fight John Jones at the UFC next year. Because Lesnar still has like 6 months or so from his suspension from the UFC. Before he could even, consider going back, but I'm sure he's already starting to train for it, if that's even going to happen. But just the fact that they're teasing that whole thing now on WWE.com, and the whole, like, Paul Heyman saying if Lesnar loses the title, because that they made it unfair, that it's going to be a fatal four-way match, that Lesnar doesn't have to get pinned or submitted to lose the title. And then Paul Heyman just bringing up, if Lesnar loses the title, Lesnar is leaving and I'm going with him. I feel like that means Lesnar is just going to win the title, or he's going to keep the title, because, supposedly the talks were that he was going to hold on to the title until Mania next year, which I personally would like to see, because I still think you can get a lot out of a Lesnar title run, and I think they kind of need to rebuild him back up as a monster, to kind of make up for the whole Goldberg beating him in a minute, 26 seconds or whatever it was at Survivor Series last year. So make him that big unstoppable monster again, have that aura, like, oh shit, Brock Lesnar's coming out, holy crap, like they did on Raw when Kurt Angle came out and told The Miz, hey, you have a special guest on your Miz TV today, and then all of a sudden, boo, Lesnar's fucking theme song comes on, and the crowd just like, oh my god, like Lesnar's gonna kill somebody. And that was perfect. Paul Heyman on the mic just telling Bo Dallas, you could be Roman Reigns and all that, and Curtis Axel, you can be Braun Strowman, and Miz, you're Samoa Joe, or vice versa. I forgot how he said it, or it was Miz was Roman Reigns, and then he was saying Bo Dallas could be Samoa Joe. But either way, then he said, and Brock is gonna show you a preview of SummerSlam, and then Brock just started suplexing, killing everybody in the ring. That was just perfect. So I just love I love the way they make Brock a beast, and I think Strowman, they're doing a great job with Strowman. But yeah, I just want Brock to be that beast still, that monster, because if he doesn't renew his contract with WWE next year after WrestleMania, then at least get that out of him, get a full-fledged monster beast. Can't stop him, no one can stop him. Let him dominate everybody up until WrestleMania, and then you just have him go against a new up and comer, or someone that's already there right now, but hasn't won the title yet, but would be a good fit to dethrone the beast, to conquer the beast at WrestleMania next year. So that's the SummerSlam. My SummerSlam predictions. I think Lesnar is going to win it. The swerve I could see happening is either Strowman or Samoa winning it, though. Hopefully not Roman Reigns, because the other rumor is, of course, Roman Reigns might be challenging Lesnar next year and to beat him at WrestleMania. So I hope that doesn't happen. That's God. I like Roman Reigns. I actually do like Roman Reigns. I just don't like the idea and intentions that they have for Roman Reigns, in that he's basically going to be Cena number 2. I'm Super Reigns. I'm going to kick out of everything, and then I'm going to put you away with one finisher. No, don't want to see that. I like Roman when he was in the Shield a lot. He was just the silent, he was the silent muscle for the group. He was the badass, he was the heavy weapon of the group. And I really liked what they did with him. I liked him in the Shield. I like him now. I like him. I like his character. He's pretty good on the mic. I think he just needs, I hate to say it because it's the usual, so-and-so needs to turn heel. Which, of course, is, to me, it's kind of like counterproductive on that part, because it's like, everyone wants the guy to turn heel because he would, then they'll cheer for him, but, a heel is supposed to get booed. But unfortunately, it's the same formula here. I gotta say, it's gonna be better for Roman to be a heel, just because he has the charisma and the cockiness, on the mic to be a great heel. I feel like he needs to have his own die Rocky die promo type moment, heel, heel promo, like where The Rock was like, no, you wanted to chant die Rocky die, when he turned heel and stuff, and or when he cut a promo, basically solidifying his heel turn. I think Roman needs to have that type of promo. He needs to. They just need to go a full-fledged heel turn, even though it's kind of like he subtly, it was a subtle heel turn. He's just kind of, on the mic, when he does his little backstage promos. Not recently, but God, I remember a few promos that he did backstage. I'm like, wow, he just sounds like a heel, but people were booing him too, even though he's the face. But people were booing him, and he's kind of somewhat cutting heel promo, backstage. The cockiness. I forgot who it was he was gonna fight. It may have been for the Taker, the build up to Taker and Reigns at Mania. But I just remember it sounding really heelish. His promo. I'm like, wow, he's perfect. And then people are booing him because they actually don't like what he's saying. But it's like, what? Then as soon as he actually was, were to turn heel, in WWE's eyes, and Vince, what Vince would consider a heel turn, then everyone's going to cheer him, because he's probably going to do something that everyone wants to see, turning a heel, having an actual official heel turn. But yeah, Roman is good though. He's great. He's actually really good. He has some damn good matches. He's good on the mic. But I don't want to see him win at SummerSlam, and I don't want the Cena. We don't need part 2 of John Cena, unless he's going to be moving merchandise like John Cena was, which I'm pretty sure Roman is moving a lot of merchandise. He has a lot of fans that are also John Cena fans, so, which are little kids and their moms, basically. That's about it. And me, because I am a Roman fan, but I'm not going to go out and buy a Roman, I'm not going to buy a One versus All shirt or anything anytime soon. If I had to buy a shirt right now, I'd probably buy a Chris Jericho shirt, maybe a Bobby Roode shirt. Recently, we just got an Aleister Black shirt, which is fucking badass. I love it. Before that, got a Baron Corbin. And I actually bought an old Stone Cold, the Watt shirt. Added that to my collection. Anyways, I'm veering off the path here. SummerSlam, I think it's going to be awesome. I'm more looking forward to the night before. NXT, baby. NXT is going to have a damn good card. Really disappointed that Ciampa is not going to be facing Johnny Garango. Apparently right now they have Johnny Garango going against Andre Almas. Which, that should actually be really good because both guys are good. Johnny Garango, we know he's really good. And Andre, he's kind of having somewhat of a change up here by adding Zelina Vega as his valet, if we will. So that should be a good match because both men, they work hard. They can put on some damn good matches. It's going to be a great opener. I'm sure that's going to open up the card. So, looking forward to seeing that. Aleister Black is going to take on Hideo Itami, which I think is probably going to be pretty fucking brutal, and it's probably going to be the closest thing on the card to a shoot fight, because I'm pretty sure these guys are just going to go all out. They're going to be throwing head kicks and elbows and forearms, and they're probably literally going to be hitting each other in the face. So that's going to be a fun one. Even if you're not a wrestling fan, that's probably going to be a fun one just to watch, because you're going to see some brutality there. They're gonna go over the top on that one for sure. The match that I am really looking forward to is going to be the Authors of Pain versus Sanity, because if no matter what you think about the big time, the big monsters that Vince loves, the big men standing over 6 feet tall, 6'4", 6'5", whatever, weighing damn near 300 pounds. The Authors of Pain, you know what, man? Their tag team championship run has been awesome. They have made them. They're basically like what the Ascension was in NXT. When they were dominating, no one could touch them, no one could beat them, and then they got moved to SmackDown, and now they're just a joke, the Ascension. But the Authors of Pain, I think they're going to handle them a lot better, especially, they have Paul Ellering with them, old school guy right there. I think they're gonna treat these guys a lot better than the Ascension. The Ascension were great. I love the Ascension. I wish that they would have kept up on building them and using them properly, because that could be a fucking force to be reckoned with right now on the SmackDown roster, in the tag team division at least. But Vince McMahon is a little off his rocker right now, or has been for a long time anyways, ever since he put Cena as number one all the time. But the Authors of Pain versus Sanity. I love Sanity. I love the music. I love the look, the get-ups. I think the group is perfect. You have Alexander Wolf, Killian Dane, who's a beast. He's a big monster. And then, Eric Young, of course. A lot of you TNAers out there. Was never a number 2 promotion, but Eric Young and Nikki Cross, all 4 of those guys in Sanity, 3 guys and lady. Insanity. I think it's a perfect group. I love what they're doing with them. Let them stay together. Let them go to the main roster together. Don't break those guys up, because they're doing really good. The fans love them. The fans love Authors of Pain just because they know the type of brutality that their matches will entail, and this match will be no different. I'm sure it's going to be an all-out fucking war. To you heavy metals out there, this is going to be heavy metal for sure in wrestling. This match is going to be crazy. And not to mention, they both come out to some pretty badass metal songs, too. So, not well-known metal songs that were made specifically for NXT superstars, for these 2 teams. But yeah, I think once the music hits, those heavy guitars come on over the loudspeakers for their little system over there, you're going to, that's just going to set the tone for the match. And you're like, this match is going to be fucking metal as fuck, man. And it's going to be badass. Then you have the NXT Women's Championship match, which also should be a great match. Asuka, she's been a beast. She's been dominating. Since she stepped foot in NXT, she is still undefeated. I think she's already at over 200 victories, 200-0 or something. Goldberg gave her props when she hit 175 or, surpassed it a little bit. Goldberg, tweeted out or something. I forgot what he did, but he said, I think the streak is in good hands with Asuka. She was all honored. She's like, oh, thank you, Goldberg, and all that crap. But, man, Asuka is just a badass. And what I would like to see, I would like to actually see her not lose the title, the NXT title, go up to the main roster. Next year at WrestleMania, you know who you have Asuka go up against? You have her go up against Ronda Rousey. You don't let Asuka lose the NXT title. Let her come to WWE. Let her win the women's title of whatever brand, whether it's Raw or SmackDown. Let her hold both titles. Let her go back and forth and defend it and being that badass. Like, make her a special spectacle like Brock or Ronda. let Asuka be that, like, where it's like she defends both titles. Like, she'll go to NXT for a little bit, you know, when she's working her program to defend that title. She comes back up to Raw or SmackDown, defends that title, goes back and forth. You know, maybe she's around for the big pay-per-views for WWE, and then, you know, or vice versa, you know, just for the NXT pay-per. Well, I don't know. You can't really do it like that, I guess, because, you know, the women's title got to be on the main pay-per-views, you know, the SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Rumbles, and all that crap. Anyways, have it to where she just doesn't lose. You know, if it means they strip her of the title because she's jumping, you know, to the main brand, then do that. Or, you know, kayfabe an injury, you know, let her stay out and then get moved up to the roster and, you know, say that she had to relinquish the NXT title. Don't let her lose yet. Let her first loss be against Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania next year. Because I'm telling you right now, that match alone, I think that match, Asuka and Ronda, if you did the proper build-up, like starting now or at least after SummerSlam, I think that match could close the show. Like, seriously. Like, that would bring in big numbers. Big money if they did that. But I don't see Ember Moon necessarily going over this weekend on that match. I think Asuka's still going to win. I do like Ember Moon. She's one of my favorites, I think, in NXT right now as far as women's wrestlers goes. I love her finisher ever since I first saw it. Like, that's how I first saw her, was like on YouTube. It's all, oh, women's wrestler does a front flip Stone Cold Stunner off the top rope. I'm like, what? This was like a few years ago. And then I was like, holy shit. Like, she's badass. That's awesome. And then she came to NXT. I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, we're going to see this finisher on NXT. And then bam, she hits it. But yeah, I like Ember Moon a lot, but I'm really more of a fan of Asuka, and I think Asuka's going to win this one. But, you know, what I'm really looking forward to, obviously everyone is looking forward to the main event, the NXT Championship. Drew McIntyre, a.k.a. former 3MB member, taking on Bobby Roode, the glorious one. Glorious! I cannot wait. That's going to be awesome, too. You know the crowd is going to be very receptive for that one. The crowd is going to be going crazy for that one, for sure. Especially when Bobby Roode comes out. And Drew McIntyre, I like how they've been handling him lately. You know, finally they're giving him the respect that he deserves, and WWE's treating him the way he should be treated. He's been on a path of destruction as well since returning to NXT. And they're building up as a big formidable opponent for Bobby Roode. Not sure what they have planned, though. Like, it's almost like you can't lose Bobby Roode yet in NXT because you don't have Finn there, you don't have Sami Zayn, you don't have Shinsuke, you don't have any of those guys. And Bobby Roode is like the main attraction there, I want to say, for NXT. I mean, just every time he comes out for his entrance, the glorious theme song, you know, at a pay-per-view, it's always a big spectacle, and the crowd buys into it. Like, they're glued in, they're hooked, and everyone's singing along with the song, and it's amazing every time. It's glorious, every single time. So you can't take that from NXT yet. I don't think you can take that. So I don't know. Like, maybe Bobby Roode holds on and stays there, or do they want Drew McIntyre to be that now? Like, do they want to build him up to be another top star? I mean, because you do have plenty of guys there that you can build NXT around. You know, you have Drew McIntyre, you have Hideo Itami, which they got to really repackage him, and I hope this heel turn or this heel character of Hideo, you know, I hope that goes over well. Aleister Black is becoming very popular, so you have him. You have Johnny Garango and Ciampa. You have, you know, Cassius Ohno back in NXT now. So you do have quite a few guys there that you can, you know, have take the place if Bobby Roode leaves, but you got to build them up, I think, to build them up a little more. Even though they're already established wrestlers, you know, out in the independents and, you know, even in NXT. But, I mean, is it anything compared to, like, a Finn Balor or Sami Zayn when they were there? I don't think so, not yet. But they're getting there. And I really hope, you know, I really look forward to the NXT pay-per-view. I really hope SummerSlam has a great pay-per-view. You know, I hope it's not a disappointment or letdown. Braun Strowman and The Miz, like, I want to talk about those guys now. Braun Strowman first. You know, I love what they're doing with him. He's a beast. He's a monster. They've been handling him right. I think so, anyways. Since he left the Wyatt family, which, you know, I was kind of worried too. You know, I was a little worried that maybe they weren't going to utilize him that good or well. Just because he didn't have the Wyatt family with him anymore, and he was so green and, you know, not great in the ring. But they've been keeping him as the dominant monster that he should be, and it's just awesome. Just the little feud with Roman Reigns, that's been brilliant. It's Batman versus Bane, totally. I mean, Braun Strowman even had a nice little line on Raw saying, before their last man standing match, saying that Roman, I broke your body. Now I'm gonna break your spirit. And I'm just like, yes, little Bane right there. So I love what they're doing with Braun Strowman. Just don't let him take the pinfall. If Brock Lesnar is walking out this Sunday as Universal Champion still, do not let Braun take the pinfall. Let Roman take the pinfall. Don't let Samoa, because Samoa already lost to Brock Lesnar last month. Samoa doesn't need another, he doesn't need to take another pinfall loss here. He doesn't need to be the one to take the pinfall. Obviously, it's a no disqualification. There's not going to be any count out, so you can't lose that way. So I say let Roman take the pin. Let him take the pinfall. Don't let Strowman. Don't let Samoa. And for sure, if you're still going to want Lesnar to be your monster, and you're not going to want him to walk out as the Universal Champion after SummerSlam, don't let him take the pinfall either. Let Roman take it. He could absorb it. He could handle it. He doesn't lose too much, especially clean. So it's not gonna hurt him. Not that it would hurt Braun or Samoa, or Lesnar either, because Lesnar's a beast, and I'm sure if Lesnar loses, it's going to be something where all of them obviously are going to gang up on Lesnar, and maybe they're going to even incapacitate him. He might even be laying down the whole match on the outside of the ring. I don't know. But yeah, Roman, he can take that loss, and because all the kids and the moms are still going to like Roman no matter what, no matter if he loses. So just let him be the one that takes the pinfall in this. No need for Lesnar, Samoa, or a Strowman. Strowman has already lost to Roman clean. And Samoa lost to Lesnar clean last month. So, let Roman take the fall this time. Or in that match anyways. But yeah, Braun Strowman, they've been doing an excellent job with him. I feel like they have anyways. And to me, he's one of the better heels in WWE right now. The only problem is, of course, everyone is cheering for Braun, especially for the fact that he is feuding with Roman Reigns. So of course everyone's gonna boo. Everyone's gonna boo Roman before they boo Braun. So they've been booing just at Raw this past Monday when they were in Toronto, when Kurt Angle was announcing the match, or when they were talking about the 4-way match. I forgot what it was, but when they were mentioning all the names, as soon as they said Braun Strowman, the crowd cheered. They cheered for him, and then when they mentioned Roman, automatically boo. So, but Braun, I think, is one of the better heels right now in WWE. Along with who I think right now, honestly, I think the best heel in WWE right now is The Miz. The Miz is great. The Miz, ever since that Talking Smack promo with Daniel Bryan last year, man, he has been on a roll. It's like, because he's always done good. I've always been a fan of him. I liked. I didn't really watch wrestling too much when he was the champ and when he main evented Mania against John Cena and won that match, by the way. It's like they go from these little spurts of they'll push him, and then they just completely don't know what to do with him, or they don't really do much with him. But Miz, to his credit, even if if they don't have anything planned for him or anything big for him at the time, he still performs, as if he was a main eventer, regardless of where they have him on the card, of what program he's working at the time. To me, he's one of the best. He's one of the best in the world, all around. I mean, he's a good wrestler. He gets it done in the ring, but he's great on the mic. He's such a heat generator. He's a little heater, that's what he is. He's a heat generator, and he knows how to work the crowd. I was laughing my ass off when he was making fun of Heath Slater a few weeks ago, when he was out there talking trash on Dean Ambrose, and then Heath Slater wanted to challenge The Miz for an Intercontinental title shot. I was laughing my ass off. The Miz making fun of Heath Slater. He said something on the line, he started talking in a hick accent, or a redneck type accent. He was talking about all the fans of Heath Slater in Virginia, saying something like, "Oh, and they gotta fix their TV, their little rabbit ears antenna on their TV to get a good picture," and just the way Miz was just doing it. And then he did it again with Jason Jordan, making fun of Jason Jordan, who oh God, we found out is Kurt Angle's son, apparently. What they just do some storylines, and I'm just like, why are you doing this? What do you get out of this? But just the Miz, the way he handles his character, his promos. I'm gonna post the link in the description to that promo from Talking Smack of this podcast when I put it on YouTube. Because if you haven't seen that promo of Miz on Talking Smack, where he just starts ripping into Daniel Bryan and how he's been treated and saying that he's the reason the Intercontinental is relevant again, which is true. God, I mean, if you want to really see a great example of that, is go watch No Mercy from last year when they brought back the No Mercy pay-per-view, greatest wrestling game of all time, No Mercy. They brought back that pay-per-view name last October. It was a SmackDown brand pay-per-view. Unfortunately, it's going to be a Raw pay-per-view this year. But they brought that match, and with the match that should have main evented that card, I think about 99% of the fans agreed, and the locker room probably even agreed, because they even said on the Talking Smack after that pay-per-view, Ziggler even said to Shane and Down, you guys messed up. Like, we should have been the main event, and they even said, "Yep, we messed up. We totally messed up on that one. We agree. It should have been the main event." Just everything about that match, the story told in the ring, the drama. Murillo Ronaldo, former Strikeforce and Pride and boxing commentator, was the commentator for that match, and it was fucking epic. That match was great. The crowd was sucked into it. They were hooked onto that match. They were drawn into it. They were at the edge of their seats. They were going along with all the pinfalls, the near falls. They were just electric during that match. Like, they killed that match, killed it, and the crowd was just completely drained by the time the main event came on. So yeah, if you want a good indication that Miz is great as a heel for WWE all around, and just a great champion anytime he's holding a title, go back and watch No Mercy from last year on the WWE Network for kids. You can do that. Network ain't even paid me for this crap, and I'm still plugging them. But yeah, go back and watch that. Watch the Talking Smack promo that I'm going to post in the description here. And you'll see just how great The Miz is, because he is really that damn good. And another thing I kind of wanted to talk about as far as wrestling goes is the whole, like I mentioned, that I would like to see maybe Balor challenge Lesnar next year. I have a little fantasy booking here for that, for how I would like for it to go. So, I would like for Lesnar to win the title this Sunday, to retain. And, in order for this to happen, I guess Balor needs to go over Bray on Sunday. You start building that up. And, you have Balor basically stay undefeated. Or, well, it doesn't have to be undefeated. But make it a clear indication that that you're probably going to have Balor win the Rumble, Like, just build him up. Have faith in him. Put the trust. Hopefully Vince will put the trust in him. And let him win the Rumble. Let him win the Rumble next year. You have him go up against Lesnar for that title at Mania. Let that be the main event. And you know what you do? You, at that Mania, you have Lesnar. You have the story built up. The underdog, Finn Balor, is coming to face the Beast. The Demon versus the Beast. And it's built up, Lesnar, like, from a I guess, kayfabe perspective, Lesnar is the Beast. He's gonna win. He's the big dominant monster. There's no way the underdog, the smaller, outweighed by Lesnar by almost 100 pounds, is gonna win this match. And you have that underdog story somewhat in there, and then you bring back Balor's past. Then you pull the trigger. You fully pull the trigger. You have the Club, Gallows and Anderson, come out. You have Balor and the Club just beat down Lesnar. Even if it means you've signed more Club members since then, from now until next WrestleMania, and you have a bunch of them just come out and they all just jump Lesnar, beat the shit out of him. You make it a no DQ match, or the ref is knocked out or something, whatever. You have them all come in there. They beat him down with chairs, blah, blah, blah. They destroy him. They slay the Beast. Balor wins, goes over. Heel turn for Balor. The Club is now running wild in WWE. You pull the trigger. And then on the other side, on SmackDown, maybe you have AJ do the same, almost in a sense. Maybe he starts a new club, or, maybe more other Club members get signed by then, and they go to SmackDown, and maybe the same thing happens. Maybe Shinsuke has the title. AJ goes there, and then AJ, beats Shinsuke, and then he has his own club. I wouldn't even mind if he had the Usos as like a new club. Like he starts forming his own branch of the club there, and then you have the Wars, the two club leaders, AJ Styles and Finn Balor. And God, I just think that would be great. You just have the club unleashed onto the WWE, just running rampant all over. Or maybe they're cool. Maybe Finn is like, hey, AJ, you real know. I can't do Irish accents, but you have both of them cooperatively, dominating WWE. One's running Raw, one's running SmackDown, and then maybe eventually Kenny Omega comes and you do more with that, and then maybe what you do is you reform the Wyatts, and then maybe what you do is you also reform the Shield. Like, how badass would that be? How badass would that be? The club destroys Lesnar, he's gone, and then they're running they're running shop, and maybe this could be something that leads to Survivor Series next year. You have Balor and the club basically destroy Lesnar. They beat him, they pin him, or Balor pins him, wins. AJ wins the title against Shinsuke. You never hear from Lesnar again. And then slowly throughout the year, you have them somewhat pick off the Shield. They're not back as the Shield yet. Rollins, Ambrose, and Reigns. But maybe separately they each are having issues with the club. And maybe a few months, maybe a month before Survivor Series, you take out the Shield members individually. They're having individual programs with the club. You destroy them. You get the Shield beat up, and they're not together as a Shield yet though. And you take out each former member of the Shield, and then they're gone from TV, for a few weeks or whatever. And then building up to the Survivor Series, you have a Raw of the club out there just dominating everybody, bragging about how they're destroying everybody. And then, the first time since WrestleMania, you hear the song, Boo! Brock Lesnar comes out with Paul Heyman, and he challenges them to a Survivor Series match, the club. And then Paul Heyman says something like, we didn't come alone, though. And then all of a sudden you hear Sierra Hotel, and the crowd will erupt. That place would go fucking crazy. The roof would blow off the top. And then you pit it where it's like Lesnar and the Shield and maybe Nakamura versus the club at Survivor Series next year. That would be insane. I hope WWE gets on the ball and they start coming up with some creative shit like that. Or maybe hire me as the booker, whatever they want. But you do stuff like that. Man, you want to talk about network subscriptions, Vince, and building up those numbers? You do shit like that. Stop living in the past with your John Cena formulas. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I'm glad to see Cena somewhat taking a backseat now and actually put it over younger talent. We'll see if he continues that trend on Sunday. Also, before we wrap it up here, I would like to give a plug to Sean, my friend Sean, a.k.a. Assassinator, aka the owner of Assassinator Entertainment. He's been doing really good on his YouTube channel. If you're interested in anything Nintendo, any Nintendo news or video games or collectibles, Assassinator Entertainment is the perfect YouTube channel for that. He's been doing a great job. He even did a live 24-hour stream of Splatoon Splatfest. I couldn't believe he did that. That was crazy. It was really cool to watch. I was, popping in and out of that stream all day and seeing that he was still kicking. He was alive and still kicking. Maybe me and Sean will have to have an Iron Man match one day. 24-hour wrestling match or something in the cage. But, or in Halo. But, yeah, go over to his channel. I'm going to post the link in the description, whether this is on SoundCloud and YouTube or just on YouTube. There'll be a link to his channel because he runs some pretty good contests and giveaways, too. And he's been helping me out. He's been giving me a plug, on his channel, on his live streams and everything. So, I want to make sure people know about his channel because if you're a Nintendo fan, you like to collect Nintendo games or play Nintendo games and you got all the Nintendo consoles and all the little collectibles that you can buy. His channel is perfect because he goes out of his way to find the deals on collectibles or, whatever it is that's being sold or that's being featured. He'll find the great deals for you and he'll tell you where you can find them, how you can find them, and just a lot of other good Nintendo content on there. So Assassinator Entertainment, check him out. I'm also going to still be doing some more tutorials of Studio One for all my audio engineers and producers and mixers and masters out there. I'm actually going to be doing some. I'm actually going to be recording some after this podcast here. I'm going to record a few more tutorials on Studio One and performing certain functions because I read the Reddit forums and there's a lot of people that are starting out that I see and they're asking some questions on some features and how to do certain things in there. So I want to be able to provide them with that information. Because I started this last year, audio engineering, or dipping into it and getting my feet wet into it. And I mean, even though I've been almost doing this for almost a year, there's still a lot of things I'm learning, and I'm sure even in 5 years, there's still going to be a lot of things I'm learning. A lot of great tutorials out there too for people to watch on, Studio One, or just mixing and mastering in general, music production. There's a lot of great videos on YouTube that you should check out. Bob Owinski is one of them. I just watched one of his mixing webinars the other day. It was like an hour-long webinar. Oh man, the tips that he went over in that. Everything from just how to compress drums and EQing vocals and everything. I mean, just the tips that he gave in that seminar. I just can't wait to apply that to my mixes now, which I'm going to be happily and excitedly doing later on after I film those tutorials. So yeah, check those out on YouTube. Check out my channel, of course. Stick around. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. There's going to be a lot of content on here. I'm going to have everything, like I said, like I've said before, it's going to be everything from video games to music, the music that I make, the music I make for other people's projects. I'm going to do more podcasts. It's not going to be like a set in stone weekly podcast type thing. I'll be releasing them whenever I can. I'll record them whenever I can. It just depends on how busy I get. I'm still working on a few projects. I just finished a project for one of my wife's coworkers' business that he has. It's a sanitation business, Canine Sanitation. If you are out here in the Lake Elsinore, Temecula Valley area, in SoCal, the Inland Empire, look up Canine Sanitation. James is his name. He goes and he'll go and clean your yard for you. You got horse droppings, cats, dogs. He'll go out there and he will clean your yard up for you. He's a very honest, reasonable guy. So I suggest anyone that needs any of those services, give him a call. Go to caninesanitation.com. And you can look up all of his information and his prices and everything there. And so I did that. I just finished up that project. I did a little theme song for his business, which I think is going to be featured on his website as well. And then I mentioned Sean, Assassinator Entertainment, earlier. I'm also working on a project with him where I'm actually providing him with music and sound effects and voiceovers. I can't wait till he finally reveals what he's doing with that. But I'm also still making music for him as well for his YouTube channel, and anything else that he asks me, that he needs or whatever for his YouTube channel. I'm there to provide him with that. And then, like I said, I'll be doing these podcasts if I can. I'm going to have my contest that I run next month, the $30 gift card giveaway. And like I mentioned before, the way you become eligible for that is you subscribe to my YouTube channel. You make your subscriptions list public so I can see that you did. And as long as you're subscribed by September 6th, you're eligible to, you're basically going to be entered into the contest if you want to be. But what you need to do is, I'm either going to, like I said earlier, I'm either going to do a live stream of me playing Destiny 2 that day, or I'm going to be recording my gameplay, from the start to, whenever I stop playing, maybe an hour video or whatever. But what I'm going to do is I'll have it titled something specific. I think I'm going to have it titled the Destiny 2 Sessions or something like that. But whether it's a live stream or a video, as soon as I put it up, you can go on there, comment, tell me that you subscribed, and I'll look to make sure that you did. And as long as you did that, you're entered into the contest. And then I'm going to record a podcast that day or the day after. And when I record that podcast, I'm going to release it the next week. So it'll be like Monday, September 11th or Tuesday, September 12th. On that podcast, one of the first things I'm going to talk about is going to be announcing the winner of who won the contest. But I do need 50 subscribers by then to run the contest. So if you're listening to this, please just share the information on that contest. Share it on your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever the hell you are on. I don't have a Facebook. Don't really like that crap, but unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to do that pretty soon for my business. Me and my wife will be managing that page, but I don't really like Facebook. I don't care for it. But I do have Twitter. I like Twitter because it's not like all, it's not like Facebook where you can post your 5-paragraph rant about, your ex or whatever it is you want to do, since, you feel all high and mighty behind your keyboard, but you won't do that in public or whatever. I like Twitter because it's just simple. It limits you on how much you can say, even though sometimes that's a pain in the ass when I'm trying to promote my shit. But I like it because it's just straightforward. You post, hey, go check out my video, and that's it. It's nothing more than that. I like Instagram for that too, because it's not big wall posts of anything, other than people can leave a long post on their picture. That gets kind of annoying, but I like it too because it's just mainly pictures. That's all it is. And if you follow my Instagram, all it is, all you see on there is wrestling and music stuff. That's all you see on mine. So, but other than that, yeah, please share all this and share all this information. Try to get your friends and family to subscribe to my channel, especially if you are a friend and family of mine. You should already fucking be subscribed to my channel already. So if you're not, subscribe to it now. Just kidding. Not that mean. Kind of. Not really. But yeah, my podcasts are going to be uncut anyways. So, I'm not going to apologize for cussing. Because my podcast, that's just going to be uncut, unedited all the time. It's not going to reflect my business because my podcast is more of my personal opinion. And, I'm one of those guys that believes you should keep, people's opinion on your business should not be determined by your personal opinions. Like, just because I think a certain way doesn't mean you should think, well, I'm not going to use him to do my music because he thinks this way, about this person, or he thinks about, that's just, I hate that when people are like, oh, I don't agree with him personally, so I'm not going to use him for his business. Like shut the fuck up. That my personal opinions has nothing to do with you, and that is my personal opinion, because my personal opinion is completely different from the work I can provide you and the services that I can provide you with through my business as far as making you music, because I know I can come up with a lot of creative stuff musically. So I can provide you with great music. I can provide you with voiceover acting. I have no problem, being silly and messing around with voices and, reading scripts and acting it out, because I love doing that. And, I would provide you with that. And then podcasts, I'm going to do podcasts. But, if you need someone, if you like the sound quality of my podcast, the fact that you don't really hear any background noise, because I clean them up pretty good and I can edit it. I put a bunch of noise gates and all that good stuff onto it. But, yeah, if you need someone just to simply do that for you, if you want to hire me just to, you have a weekly podcast and you just want me to go in there to clean up the background noise and that's it, I'm going to do that to you. I'm going to provide those services for you. And like the main services that I want to provide right now, for anybody out there that might need me, for, their audio needs, like I said, I want to clean up your podcast. I want to provide you maybe with a voiceover if you need it. Or, like I said, a jingle or a theme song for your business. Or if you're a pro wrestler out there, I would love to do a theme song for you. So, and I'll be sure, and I'll try to start putting up more of my music up there, just so you can kind of, hear what I can do with music. I only have like 2 songs on my YouTube right now. I want to start mixing and mastering some sample ones, just so I can put some like little 30-second ones out there, just so you can hear the quality at least of my creativity and, how I can mix and master my songs. So just be on the lookout for all that stuff. But other than that, that's going to conclude this podcast. This obviously went a lot longer than my first one, but I felt like it probably was a lot better too. Maybe a little more exciting or, entertaining for you. I will be filming or recording another one soon here. But like I said, I will be filming some tutorials today, and I'll be putting those up on my YouTube. So be sure to check that out. And if you haven't, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Until next time, stick around.